Hello, you're listening to On The Topic, and this week I'm going higher, further, faster, and together with Dan. I'm Alex.
Oh, he stole the punchline.
Oh, I did it.
And, well, I'm Dan.
Is that it?
That is it. That's all I've got.
All right.
That was all. That's you literally had lined up what I had. So
already running
great minds and all that.
Okay. And this week we are dodging death because we've got cars about to drive into us as we go on another On The Go, Dan.
A little bit darker, a little bit wetter, a little bit colder compared
just
to
you.
Well, yeah, since the last On The Go we did, which was Mission Impossible 7.
Oh yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
Or was it the Meg? Might have been the Meg.
Or maybe it was the Meg.
Either way, it was warmer back then.
It was, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a chilly night down here on the south coast, but it's still a sight to behold. And if you haven't joined us on the go before, well, look, you're in for an absolute treat. We've got a whole back catalogue of On The Goes, so by all means, listen to this one, and then you can go and listen to all the other ones. But what do we usually do on the go, Dan?
Well, we walk to the cinema. We talk about our thoughts, our feelings, and maybe a few predictions.
Our hopes and dreams.
Yep. And then within a blink of an eye, you find us outside the cinema doors, giving you a spoiler-free review of all the good stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe some of the bad.
Indeed. So, Dan, we are walking down the streets of Old Portsmouth as we go towards the cinema in view in Gunwharf. And what are we going to see this week?
We are going to see The Marvels, as hinted by your opener.
Indeed. Is it film 36? 35,
yeah,
36?
we're fast approaching the big 40. Although, I think next year there's only be one MCU film.
Yeah, will they get there? That's the question. But yeah, we're watching Brie Larson's, I guess, official second outing, although this is not her second feature. She's been in at least 3 or 4 other films, either in post credits or she's been in Endgame.
Yep.
So this is her second time to shine, and of course it's with the other, well, Monica Rambeau. We've got Miss Marvel. Yeah. I've tried to dodge as many as I can in terms of spoilers. It looks fun from the trailer, and it's got middling reviews. I mean,
it's odd, isn't it?
From what I've seen, there's a standard Brie Larson, lots of hate on the internet. I just can't get behind that. But there's also quite a lot of interest and fun points at it. So I'm going in with an optimistic mind, Dan.
Yeah, same. Do you know what, the 2 trailers that I've seen look fun, look interesting, and apparently it's one of the shorter MCU films, which is fine as long as the pacing's okay.
Quality over quantity.
I've got no qualms. But a lot of toxicity on socials.
Yeah.
Not on our socials, but when you look through
hopefully not
posts or anything like that.
But block that shit.
It's horrible.
It's not nice.
I don't really get it. People saying, oh, this film's bombed, this film's crap. It's been out for a week. I bet all these people that are making these comments probably haven't seen it because the box office says it all. It's only, I think, when I looked this afternoon for a bit of research, I think it's about 114.7 million from what I can remember.
And it's just about a full week out. So, I mean, it's not fantastic, but I also wouldn't say it's rock bottom.
No, it's one of the worst openers for an MCU film, though.
Is it?
Yeah, but why do people feel the need to celebrate failure?
I don't know. Just go to the cinema to have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't you just have fun? We will talk about, whether the MCU is oversaturated and the state of play probably in a couple of weeks, if we can find time between now and Christmas. So I guess that's not. Whilst we may talk about it, I guess in the review, we're not here to discuss those aspects. You've got to stay tuned for that, listener. But what are you hoping for, Dan? Really, what are you looking to get out the next couple of hours?
I just want something fun. I've had a stressful day at work. Okay. It's not been easy. This afternoon's been absolutely pants.
Oh dear.
I want to sit back, I want to relax, I want to enjoy, and I think I just want a post-credit scene that's going to blow me away.
Well, what I have seen is, I think you might get it all. We're just going past the the Isle of Wight ferry port listener. So you're going to get a rumbling of an old-looking van. That's what else doing around here. Trundling past. Oh, horses! There's horses in there, poor things.
There actually is.
So, apologies for the background noise, but, this is ASMR.
We might have to dodge the road if we try and cross now while it's quiet.
Yeah, why not?
Usually, on the summer nights, these roads are absolutely brimming.
People try and get you.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cross the road. Bit of fun then. So, relax, unwind as a post-credit scene, you said.
I'm not expecting too many Easter eggs, but I don't know. I try to avoid, like yourself, all the spoilers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And hopefully, it's going to be something, just to ease us back in. Hopefully, something that sort of reinvigorates my need for an MCU project. I mean, it's not been excellent, but let's not pretend. Phase 1 to 3
Can't beat it.
had the odd film that wasn't great either.
Yeah. Well, had a couple of bum notes, but I think it all culminated in what were some very good films. I think Phase 4, Phase 5 has yet to get off the ground. But hey,
Yeah, I mean, we've had an interesting comment actually on the socials this afternoon from my namesake Dan.
Tell us.
On Twitter, he said, "I have little excitement for the MCU at the moment. It's become overexposed on content, and no matter how hard they try, I can't see them catching lightning in a bottle again. I will watch it on Disney Plus maybe. Hope you guys enjoy the movie, and I look forward to the pod."
Oh, good. Well, shout out to Dan. Thanks for getting in touch.
Well, hopefully, we enjoy this film enough, or it does something to reinvigorate that fire.
Yeah.
And we can get his bum in the seat of the cinema.
Maybe. I mean, for me, Dan, I think I'm not going into this with an awful lot of, I don't know, excitement. I wouldn't say that's from a perspective of, complacency or from being bored of the MCU. I think, well, it's got some loud music, isn't he?
Oh, we got some cars blaring out some music.
Merc with windows down. I think I just want to go in there with zero expectation. And enjoy for what it is. And it's supposed to be silly, it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be a good kind of collaboration and a meeting of, well, at least 2 MCU streaming series, which is One Division with Monica Rambeau, of course, sporting her new powers up in Sword.
Yes.
3 perhaps, actually, because you've got Nick Fury returning from his latest outing, perhaps, in Secret Invasion.
Which was actually quite good up to the final episode, and it was just absolute guff.
I don't know how you're going to come back
which is a shame, because it had a lot of potential.
And then, of course, you've got Miss Marvel.
Iman Vellani. Miss Marvel, I don't actually really like as a character, but it's hard to not...
phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's hard to not like Miss Marvel with Iman Vellani, because she just portrays that character to the T. It's a bit like Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man.
Yeah, she blows out the water. So, bit of fun, and I think I'm looking for... Apparently this is all going to tie everything together, and I think that's what we need.
We've got an incursion happening, apparently.
I think so. So I think, bit of fun for me, and just generally, we don't need kind of an end game level kind of shit show. We just need something where the odds are against them and they win out and it's a bit of fun, and that's what I'm looking for, Dan.
Same.
Yeah.
Look at this Christmas fair down here. We've got a little Ferris wheel.
Oh, we have little Christmas
lots of lights.
Yeah, they've got the fake snow out, and they've got merry-go-round. Sounds a bit eerie, though, doesn't it? This time of night, you've got that music in the background. Not long past Halloween, I think we'll get people jumping out at you.
Spinnaker's lit up all purple.
It's beautiful. But anyway, yes, we're about to go into the cinema now. So in a blink of an eye, I mean, for you listening, it's going to be a miss, a couple of seconds, and an interlude theme song. But for us, it's going to be a couple of hours.
Yes.
So we're off to cinema in a lovely, relaxing recliner seats, and we'll see you, I guess, in a couple of moments in the future.
Do-do-do!
And just like that, Dan, in a blink of an eye, space-time,
we're back. I'll tell you what, before we sort of dive into our spoiler-free review, I'm quite amazed at how great View Gunwharf looks.
It does look rather splendid, doesn't it?
It's been decked out.
Bit of a
the front of
facelift.
the house looks brilliant.
Yeah. And it doesn't look too bad as we walk out. There's a lovely Christmas tree sparkling right in front of us. Very romantic, Dan.
It is.
Which is quite apt to give our last episode where you got hot under the collar. And here we are on a romantic date with Christmas twinkly lights. But anyway, misty-eyed, I digress. The Marvel's, Dan, just under 2 hours.
Yes.
We're out. What do you reckon? Spoiler-free, of course. So
we'll do our best.
For some odd reason, if you're just joining us halfway through this episode, well then, go back to the beginning. But otherwise, yes, it is spoiler-free. So as we head back towards Old Portsmouth from the cinema, you'll be hearing some sights and sounds of Gunwharf. What is it, Thursday night?
It is a Thursday night. A little bit quieter than usual.
Not too lively, yeah. The cinema was quite empty, actually. There's only about 20 people in there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's indicative of anything, but it is a quiet night anyway here in Gunwharf Keys on the south coast.
Well, where do I start? Probably the right length for the film, in my opinion. Didn't need to be any longer.
No, I agree.
Well paced. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun, Dan. And I think this is kind of the film we probably needed. It's tonally, I think, in the last couple of films of the MCU has been quite down, quite depressing, quite dark.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think we needed something a little bit silly, a little bit fun.
I think this is probably the cosmic adventure. I said this to you. This is the cosmic adventure I think I wanted from Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it had all the hallmarks of that franchise. It's all in space. There's familiar faces.
Yeah.
From the Thor franchise, but I think it was done in the right tone.
Yeah, it didn't need to be any longer.
No, and I think this had the right amount of sprinkling of Miss Marvel as well. Was it Iman Vellani?
Yeah, she does the character so well.
I mean, she just brings it together, and you wouldn't think it, but she brings all of those programs, all of those films together. It was a really enjoyable, fun-filled, doesn't take itself seriously film. But it has quite some big ramifications, though, for the wider MCU.
Oh, for sure.
And again, without going into too much detail, it does reveal in the post-credit scene something that we all wanted, all expected, and we all love, really.
Yeah, I mean, if you've managed to avoid the spoilers, it's worth waiting around for. It's just the one cutscene. But ultimately, it's a good one.
It is. We're just observing a bunch of cretins playing with the lights on the trees.
Yeah,
which is quite ill-advised.
Jingling around above us, so I'm a bit concerned that they're going to fall on us.
Or pull down this lovely tree. But anyway, society has its...
But yeah, going back to Iman Vellani, actually,
yes.
There's a couple of moments where I think she gets the sharp reality of being a superhero.
Okay.
In my opinion. And there's one moment where the planet the Skrulls are on, without going into too much detail, it's getting destroyed. And of course, they can't save everyone.
No. She has to make those tough decisions.
Yeah.
It is a baptism of fire to some extent, actually. Yeah. You're right.
Captain Marvel literally goes, "We can't save everyone. That's it." And you can just see the horror on her face.
Yeah.
And it's always like at first I thought, this is going to be a moment where don't meet your heroes.
It's not quite that bad.
It's not quite that bad.
But no. It does get serious at times. But
it's a very I sort of very different, like similarities, I suppose, to Peter Parker, Spider-Man.
Yes, you're right. Actually, the naivety in the whole Civil War airport scene in was it Dusseldorf?
Yeah.
Where he meets his heroes literally as they kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah. No, I think she does very well in this. I'd say for a character that I've never really liked, even in the comics, just find her a bit cheesy, a bit of a teeny bopper. But she does it so well, and it's hard to not like her.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if we go back to Captain Marvel, the first one, this is a direct continuation of that storyline. So whilst they deal with 3 different backstories relatively well in cutscenes and flashbacks in the first, say, 20 minutes.
Yeah, so it's not a lot, but it's enough.
I would suggest it would still be helpful to see the first Captain Marvel film, just so that it kind of understands why she's called the Annihilator. which is explained, but I think to kind of give that additional detail that you probably need.
Just gives a bit more depth, yeah.
Indeed. So I personally would recommend on this occasion go and see the first one. But it does continue with that storyline, where she's left off and she's going back to the Kree Empire, and I think it kind of deals with that storyline quite well.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to be quite literal, but, Carol does go back to the Kree Empire and she does deal some justice, and this is the fallout of that. And I think, for me, that's what perhaps Brie Larson was missing in whatever the 5 or 6 years since we've seen that film, is that she hasn't really had any kind of identity of her own. She's always been a cameo or the big hitter, and I think this has done that character justice, because we can see now what has happened since the fallout of the first film, which we have sorely missed. And quite a lot's happened. You've had the blip, and you've had Civil War. Well, basically you've had the whole of the MCU that's happened in between. So
we've had Endgame.
We have.
So it's obviously all been a bit bleak.
It has.
The other thing I quite liked about Carol Danvers, they actually fleshed her out a bit more emotionally.
Yes.
So you start to see her, I suppose, being a little bit more emotional about things, like things she's missed or things she hasn't been around for.
The mistakes she's made as a superhero.
Yeah.
Which you don't often hear in the MCU.
I mean, essentially, what a lot of people forget is she's probably so emotionless in Captain Marvel because that's how she's been trained by the Kree.
Or it's poor writing.
Maybe a bit of both.
But yes, I agree. I think overall for me, Dan, I think all of the characters and all the actors, I think, riffed off each other particularly well. I really enjoyed their performances. I think the storyline was well written. It's exactly what we needed. It had the right amount of world-ending challenge for those three superheroes. I think it was well positioned. I think the weakest link was still the baddie for me.
Yeah, not quite enough. I did read a review, and I talked to you about this at the end while we were waiting for the cutscene, that you don't really understand what Dar-Ben's intentions are, but I think it's quite clear.
Oh, it's very clear. And I'm confused by other people's confusion. It's quite obvious when you're watching the film. I'm not sure whether it was a strong enough baddie for the second outing of what is one of the most strongest and most powerful superheroes in the MCU. But hey, it doesn't have to be a Thanos level, and nor should it be. I think that's why the film, for me, was one of the most enjoyable. Take it for what it is, which is a roller coaster ride. It is silly. Great soundtrack, Dan. The music was brilliant. And the CGI, all right, so CGI hasn't been too hot in the last probably 5 years for the MCU. It's been quite the opposite. This film, I don't think faltered. I think it was all pretty good quality.
Yeah, I think the only bit I did struggle with was the cutscene where we get a bit of a cameo. That's where I thought it wasn't too hot.
Yes.
But do you know what?
It could be forgiven.
I'll take it.
Yeah, it could be forgiven.
But no, you're right. CGI was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Nick Fury. Let's talk about Samuel L. Jackson.
Well, it's good to see him.
Very good to see him. He brings a nice level of humour.
Yes, good comedic effect. I think he's chilled out. I called it Sword. I think Sword is on planet Earth, and it's Saber that's in space. So it's Saber, listeners. And he's on Saber, looking after things up there. And yes, I think he anchors the film quite nicely.
Even Kamala Khan's family.
Yes, makes a very welcome return from TV series.
Yeah.
You know, how that whole kind of parental responsibility plays out when she's in the big leagues with the big superheroes, I think is funny. And I think it's been released even in the trailers where they're exchanging positions and it ends up fighting in their lounge in Queens. Is it Queens in New York? Or New Jersey. New Jersey. So, I think the humour was really brought in by those characters, and I think it was good to have them back in it. Grounds the film somewhat.
Yeah. I'm still surprised that people have said this film is going to or has bombed.
I don't see it. And
I don't understand it. It's such a good film.
I think it's cancel culture, Dan, and listener. I think it's people wanting to not like the fact of where MCU. And I know it's in a difficult situation, challenging times. And again, as I mentioned, probably in your time, listen, about 10 minutes ago, for us a couple of hours ago, we will talk about the state of the MCU as it stands. But I think it's cancel culture. I really do. I don't think it's as bad as they think. And I think they're expecting perhaps, another Endgame. And you just don't need it.
I mean,
build up.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Endgame, took 10, 11 years to get to?
Yeah, God knows how many franchises.
You can't do that in... No. Oh, we've had COVID in the middle, so we'll forget about that. But you can't do all of that in 3 to 4 years. But it's probably heavily diluted by Disney Plus series and all that stuff. But there is, I do feel like a glimmer of hope after this year.
I agree. And the way they've ended it with the Marvels, I think they've played a strong card there. And it's unexpected.
I actually quite liked the final sequence before credits roll, where we get a cheeky glimpse of Kate Bishop.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think they're hinting at the Young Avengers.
I think it was written in the stars with the amount of TV shows and the likes.
Yeah.
From Phase 4 and Phase 5.
I think we've sort of hinted at it in previous episodes where we reviewed WandaVision and...
But there was a very interesting flashback, which again we won't spoil it for you, listener, because you should go and see this. Is where Kamala ends up becoming Nick Fury,
pretty much,
which was pretty funny.
So good.
It's very well. In fact, it was mirror image to Tony Stark in Iron Man 1 at the end of that. Those credit scenes.
Just a little bit funnier, not as sinister as say Nick Fury.
So yeah, overall, Dan. It was everything I wanted it to be, and I said 15 minutes ago. It was light-hearted, didn't take itself seriously. It wasn't the big bad, but it still had ramifications, I think, for the rest of the MCU in a positive way. And I think that's what it needs to do. It needs to pull all those aspects, all those strings together. And it might, very, very, very little, but it might start to make sense soon.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's the key here. It's been a bit confusing, a bit of a mess as of late. And I think this might just be the glue, oddly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We've had a hint of what might be coming. Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness, they talked about an incursion.
Yep.
And, of course, Clea comes out at the end, says, Doctor Strange, there's an incursion. I need you to fix it. And we kind of got a hint of that in the Marvels.
Perhaps.
But more to talk about that in the big review, of course. We're trying to keep it spoiler-free. I know I am struggling.
You are tripping over yourself with all of the spoilers. It's probably time a gag on him, and we reveal all in the next episode. But if people are going to go and see it, and I hope they do, and they have some opinions for the review episode, Dan, how can our lovely listeners get in contact with us?
We are on Facebook, X or Twitter, and Instagram, which is at On The Topic Pod. Same for TikTok and Threads.
Yes.
And Alex, we've got YouTube and WordPress.
We do. WordPress is ontopicpodcast.wordpress.com. It's our website. Go have a look. Go stream all of our back catalogue. And you can see our ugly mugs and our bios and our newsletter. So you can sign up and you can be notified when an episode drops. And on YouTube. So everything's now on there. So subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Leave us some good reviews and some love. And perhaps if you want to listen to us in the background, if you're cooking, or I don't know what people do with podcasts on YouTube, they do something because we see you guys, and thank you for every week subscribing and tuning in. So go over there. It's at OTTGITS, or just search for us on Topic Podcast. And hit that notification bell. Where have you gone? And we'll be making the next episode in, probably in a couple of days for the review.
I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to take a deep dive.
Oh, it's going to be good.
But we'll see you next week. But for another week, don't panic. Let the flirkins eat you. I'm Dan.
Oh, he's taken my one now. I was going to talk about flirkins. I'm going to join my new scarf, slapping people in the face. I'm Alex.
We'll see you next week.
Hello, you're listening to another week of...
Another week. He's struggling. I've taken
I'm
it.
going to edit this out. Seconds. I'm going to start... what am I going to do?
Man's lost for words.
Yeah. I don't know. What am I going to do?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to wear my bangles and I'm going to start to... What? You taking it?